The history of Christianity has always been told as though you're Jesus and the disciples, and then people kept amplifying what they said. It's a single stream. It's really almost boring. But now that one has these other texts, we find that the early Christian movement was much more multiple, much more pluriform, much more complicated, and factions warring against each other, and people disagreeing about either what Jesus said or what he meant or what it meant for them. And I now find that diversity much more exciting, much more human a picture. And it brings up the questions that occur to anyone who thinks about Christian tradition in a much more vibrant.
There were people in antiquity who called themselves Gnostics. They said that they were the children of the knowledge of the heart. And that is what Gnosis really is about. It is an intuitive knowledge, imaginative thinking, not analytical thinking, but really knowledge of the heart.
Their principle, as it were, was condensed, concentrated into one figure, the demiurge, the creator of this world. And to be the creator of this world is not a title of glory. On the contrary, look at this world and then you know what to think of its creator. Therefore he cannot be the highest God, because the highest God cannot possibly have dirtied his hands with creating this prison of the soul, because the world is a prison of the soul. The soul is that part of the higher world which has become entrapped in this work of the lower powers, and that is the distress of a condition.
I believed that life was in the first place tragic. But when here and now you had the experience of Gnosis, that is the knowledge of what Christ really means, then you were reconciled with your surrounding, and you also saw that it is really an illusion, and that in the deepest of yourself you are one with the infinite, one with the Godhead.
Orthodox Christians and Jews take it as a primary theme, right? That God is different from humankind, that God is the creator and we are his creatures. And the two are, enormously separate. Gnostic Christians and Jews will claim, on the contrary, that there is a very deep identity. Not that we are, in some trivial way, God, but that the deepest source of human nature, when one discovers it, if we ever discover it at a very deep level, is the divine within us. For an Orthodox Jew or Christian to say that is blasphemy.
It described the situation of man as a nightmare, as a bad dream, that he is trying to murder other people and his hands are full of blood, or they are at the pursuit of himself and he can't escape until he receives Gnosis. That description of the nightmare is absolutely wonderful. It describes the situation of man in a tragic world. And then on the other hand, there is the image in the same Gospel of Truth of man as a mountaineer who has lost his way and is in the fog, and then doesn't know where to go, whither to go, whence he comes. And then he hears his name called, and then he knows, oh, I have to go there. So Gnosis, a Gnostic, is a man who knows, who realizes what he is, whence he comes, and whither he goes.
We speculate is that the Gnostic Christian is sitting there with the saying of Jesus, sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof, and then meditating, praying, whatever. And this internal dialogue on the saying becomes that person's dialogue with the Savior. They seem to have a lot of stock in claiming that they have from Jesus and Paul authentic teachings. On the other hand, they believe that inventing one's own is evidence of gnosis. In the Gospel of Thomas, Jesus says to Thomas that when he comes to know who he really is, he will discover that he's identical with Christ, and that he and Jesus are, if you like, identical twins. And therefore that saying that Thomas is Jesus' twin brother is this kind of metaphor, I believe. I don't think they ever meant it literally, but rather that, you, the reader, or you, the hearer of this gospel, are meant to understand yourself as Jesus' twin brother.
Since it has been said that you are my twin and true companion, examine yourself. Examine yourself. Examine yourself, that you may understand who you are. And you will be called the one who knows himself. For whoever has not known himself has known nothing. But whoever has known himself has simultaneously achieved knowledge of the depth of the all.
Then in the back of your mind you have always the idea, can there be an unknown and yet authentic word of Jesus? Because in the almost 2,000 years of Christian tradition, never a collection of unknown sayings have been discovered.
That which you have within you will save you if you bring it forth from yourselves. If you do not bring forth what you have within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. This heaven will pass away, and the one above it will pass away. The dead are not alive. The living will not die.
The Orthodox gains salvation through faith in the sacraments, in the Bible, and in the Church. The Gnostic gets salvation through inner experience.
Examine yourself.